ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕਾ ਖਾਲਸਾ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕੀ ਫਤਿਹ. A very warm welcome to Sangat television. My name is Karamjit Singh Thind from the Kalgita Trust, UK. Today is our fourth episode in Educate to Save. Educate to Save is all about rebooting Punjab on education, because the standards of education are amongst the poorest in the world. According to KPMG, India, only 6% of India's schools meet the quality standard. The national average standard is met only by 6%, which is indeed very, very weak. We are not talking about students at the top end, but averages. Sadh Sangat ji, we are talking about Punjab, a land 4,500 to 5,000 years. It has produced huge civilizations unparalleled anywhere on the planet. This is the land of the Indus Valley civilization. You can find bricks that are dated almost 5,000 years old. There are archives that actually give proof of this civilization. Early learning took place in this civilization. Man's early experiments with agriculture, with craftsmanship, with scientific experiments began in this land of Indus Valley civilization. The Nile Delta in Africa is a very strong contender of this. This is the land where Alexander the Great invaded, simply because of the wealth of the Indus Valley civilization, which Europe could not compete with. This is the land where Baba Nanak was born. This is the land where on Vaisakhi Day, 1699, amongst the 80,000 crowd, 5 were crafted as the perfect, ideal human beings. The children of one father who were going to take that message across to the world that the brotherhood of man is what we should be all fighting for. This land produced the Sikh kingdom, where the glory of Guru Nanak's philosophy was witnessed by the entire world. This is the same land where the British invaded, colonized, brought our young prince to London at a very tender age. But there was something about the Sikhs that a prince was welcome in Buckingham Palace and even in Windsor Castle. Queen Victoria was godmother to Maharaja Dalip Singh's children. That must be something unique in this heritage. But Sadh Sangat ji, after the fall of the kingdom, unlike other re-engineering, the British totally re-engineered, extracted everything that was crafted out of the Sikhs. It was Sant Baba Atar Singh ji who joined the British Army and learned very early in his life that today no longer you need swords or weapons to fight for your survival. Education is the tool. Education is the means to move forward. He baptized hundreds of thousands of people back into Sikhi. But by the time we got to 1947, independence, from that day, virtually the education starts disappearing from the original standards that were set, degenerated again. Sadh Sangat ji, that vision of Sant Baba Atar Singh ji is being rebooted by Sant Baba Iqbal Singh ji in Punjab. Babaji believes very strongly that As minorities, we need quality, and quality can only be produced through education. His reference is often made to the Jewish community, who has made a great success of those people whose population is only half of the Sikhs. But today, almost about 60-70% of big business in the world are owned by the Jewish people. So education is the right focus. EducateToSave.com is our sponsorship program for those very poor, underprivileged children of Punjab. This is the same land where the blood of martyrs is spilled, but today alcohol is flowing all over the place. Drugs, almost a large chunk of the youthful population of Punjab are addicted to drugs. Sadh Sangat ji, your company is needed, your support is needed. With me, I have two very respectable guests with me today who are part of the Kalgita Trust. On my left is Miss Sukhneel Kaur Goyal, a very respected lawyer in North London who genuinely supports Sikh community organization and gurdwaras, offers them some unique legal advice. She's part of the committee of Kalgita Trust in the UK. On my further left is Veer Ranbir Singh ji, a trustee of Kalgita Trust and Sangat Television, who has been with the trust for almost 25 years. The whole team very strongly recognized that without the Sadh Sangat, this mission is impossible. Sadh Sangat ji, we appeal to all of you, if the grandfather is watching this program today, please ask your children and your daughter-in-law and your grandchildren to join us today. We are going to talk about this rich educational heritage where the Sikhs are quite unique in taking the message of the entire humanity to the world. There's nobody better prepared than ourselves. My first question is for Veer Ranbir Singh ji. Veer ji, value-based education and quality education, what is the difference between these two? Because we talk about value-based education at Akal Academies, and we are encouraging the Sadh Sangat to sponsor children who will receive quality education and value-based education.
ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕਾ ਖਾਲਸਾ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕੀ ਫਤਿਹ। ਗੁਰੂ ਰੂਪ ਗੁਰੂ ਪਿਆਰੀ ਸਾਧ ਸੰਗਤ ਜੀ, ਤੁਸੀਂ ਬਹੁਤ ਹੀ ਨਾਈਸ ਇੰਟਰੋਡਕਸ਼ਨ ਰਿਸੀਵ ਕੀਤੀ ਹੈ ਮਿਸਟਰ ਥਿਨ। ਥੋੜ੍ਹੀ ਜਿਹੀ ਬੈਕਗਰਾਊਂਡ ਵੀ ਦੱਸੀ ਹੈ ਅਤੇ ਮੈਂ ਉੱਥੋਂ ਹੀ ਸਟਾਰਟ ਕਰਾਂਗਾ ਕਿ ਜਦੋਂ ਬ੍ਰਿਟਿਸ਼ ਰਾਜ ਐਂਡ ਦ ਬ੍ਰਿਟਿਸ਼ ਪੀਪਲ ਇਨ ਇੰਡੀਆ ਰਿਅਲਾਈਜ਼ ਦੈਟ it would be very difficult to fight with the Sikhs, they made an agreement with Maharaja Ranjit Singh. The agreement was that we will not attack Punjab or Khalsa Raj territory, and Khalsa forces will not attack the British boundaries within India. So that agreement lasted for as long as it worked, but behind the scenes the British people, the British soldiers occupying India, they were planning that the policy was always divide and rule. So the base of this organization, Kalgita Trust, Sant Atar Singh Ji Maharaj, who served in the British Army in India, so he realized that these people, their policy is to divide and rule. And I think there was a point in that part of history when the British people in India, they used to joke about Sikhs, saying the Sikh identity, the Sikh people are going to disappear soon. They were only like from nearly a population of 30 lakhs or 3 million, they were just down to 4 or 5 lakh Sikhs. So there was a big downfall, and Sant Atar Singh Ji Maharaj realized that, and fearing this divide and rule policy of the British, so Sant Maharaj Ji decided that the only way we can save Panth is by uniting the Panth. So his contribution to this organization was to first emphasize that a guru is never a living body. A body is never a guru. So the first teaching was that the guru is the Shabd Guru, because English policy was to produce maybe hundreds of living gurus and divide the community. I think to some extent they succeeded in that, with all this Gurudom and Derabad and all these Babas who came up with very dangerous misinterpretations of various things. And
Irji, apparently in 1901 to 1925, there was a development of quite a big spiritual center in Masnwale. And the first school was opened in 1906 because of that emphasis on education.
So emphasis was on Shabd Guru, and Shabd Guru, obviously Shabd you can always treat is part of education, but where Sant Maharaj Ji was coming from was Shabd Guru, was Guru Granth Sahib, the message of Guru Granth Sahib Ji. And the second very important thing was that because the population was dwindling, it was so low, like came down to nearly 5 lakh people, the Sikhs. So Sant Maharaj Ji laid a lot of emphasis on the identity of the Sikhs and how important it is to take Amrit. Because creation of Khalsa Panth by Guru Gobind Singh Ji in 1699, it was a major breakthrough and a big success in terms of culmination of a process which was started by Guru Nanak Dev Ji. It was that power passing from one generation to another through 10 gurus, and there was a point when the whole process was to be ceremonially concluded and Khalsa Panth was created. So that was very important. Sant Atar Singh Ji, we were talking about values here. These are the values which Sant Ji lived for and struggled for and sacrificed his life for. So taking Amrit and maintaining the identity of a Sikh was very important. Sant Maharaj Ji alone increased the population by 3-fold, like from nearly 5 lakh. In his lifetime, he baptized about 1.4 million Sikhs. That was a marvelous achievement. So from a population of 5 lakhs, we went up to over 2 million, which was a great achievement. And not only this, in order to make sure this process carries on and it gains momentum, and our population, Sikhs mainly, do understand the importance of Guru's teachings, the importance of Guru Granth Sahib Ji. So the best way to spread this message was through education.
Yeah.
So when they were talking of education, as you mentioned, the first girls' school was started. I think it was 1906. 1906. Yeah. So the first girls' school, because the real message was that if you educate a boy, you educate a boy. If you educate a girl, you educate a generation.
Sure. Yeah.
So that was a revolutionary step in the history of Sikhs. And following on from there, your question was, what is the difference between education and value-based education?
Quality education and value-based education.
Quality education so quality education you can get from most of the schools now. And I think in quality education, academic education, we have basically made a great progress. But when it comes to value-based education, the values our gurus taught not only theoretically, but actually practically, living the life, how a human being, not how a guru, how a human being, they never differentiated themselves from a common man. They went through the sufferings of a common man. They went through the challenges of a common man. They went through difficulties and all the hurdles we normally come across in our lives for a common man. And the biggest revolutionary concept was that there is no difference between God, Guru, and a disciple.
Yeah.
You will never. This is an unparalleled concept, and a disciple. Khalsa mero roop hai khas. Guru Gobind Singh ji said, "You
wow, Gobind Singh, ape gur
chala," and Khalsa Akal Purkh ki Fauj.
Yeah.
I mean, just imagine what kind of concept was this Khalsa. How would you define Akal Purkh ki Fauj? So if we look into these values, mainly the values of Guru Granth Sahib, where there's no controversy. But
these are very modern concepts. I mean, for example, what good is a team without a leader, and what good is a leader without a team?
No, exactly. I think the leader
What good is a
leadership
leader without?
once we realize the values,
Yes.
and a leader basically can promote those values. And I think we are given a model. We are given a model which is a foolproof model, and it does not need any further advancement.
Absolutely. Yeah.
It's an ultimate truth. It's a truth which will be eternal, living forever. We don't need to reinvent the wheel. We are given such a great
Ideology, philosophy,
quality education with all the values in it. I think the values are more important than just the concept of mere education, because education, quality education, if it's purely scientific education or worldly education or academic education,
Thank you, Virji.
that's all.
Yeah.
The concentration is on how to gain power, and that in that process we have all these atrocities, massacres, genocides being committed. But a Sikh, the concept of Sikh is there's no difference between a Sikh, a Guru, and a God. It's such a powerful concept.
Yes.
I think once we start practicing these values and realizing the importance of these values,
It is within you.
then we realize the intrinsic value of these this education.
Thank you, Virji. I'm going to bring Benji Sukhneel here into this discussion. Sukhneel, Benji, your background is Tanzania, Dar es Salaam.
Yes.
Your parents, grandparents would have migrated around early 1900s, probably to Dar es Salaam, and you are from a very respectable family. Talking to your mother, often I find there's a huge body of values there.
Yeah.
Can you dwell a little bit about your early learning and early advice? Because I feel what Virji was just talking about, this early establishment at Mastumwale and the spread of Sikhi around Punjab, the early learners were perhaps your grandparents and your parents.
Well, it's very interesting that my grandparents, both Dadke and Nanke, originate from a town called Kauta in Rawalpindi district, and that is where Sant Teja Singh origins were.
Okay.
So they actually, there is a rather, we feel an intimate connection also with the society for that reason. Further, when Sant Teja Singh visited East Africa and Tanzania, both my parents actually took Amrit from
Sant Baba Teja Singh.
Yeah, from Sant Baba Teja Singh. So I mean, those are emotional attachments, and obviously initially created the interest. But going back to the values, yes, I do believe that from a very young age we were brought up with basic Sikhi values. They were just a part of our life. I never felt it was a learning process. It was just, things you did on a day-to-day basis. In Dar es Salaam, we had our main service at the Gurdwara on a Sunday. It started at 7:30 in the morning because of the weather. The weather used to get warmer later. We all went. It was never difficult to go. It was never difficult, to be in the Gurdwara. We learnt Shabad Kirtan. We learnt reading and writing of Punjabi. We were always involved with the langar. But the thing is, those concepts were really day-to-day life. And I believe for that reason, they're inherent. Whereas I do find that having moved to this country, there are concepts which need to be taught more than the benefit I had. And as far as the practice of Sikhi, I mean, there is a lot for me to learn in my life. I'm just at the beginning of the journey. But again, Nitnem was part of life. I mean, I may not have done it myself, and I don't do it. But the thing is, I was surrounded by those, by those who did. I actually learned Rasa from my father. On a Sunday evening in Dar es Salaam, there would be a driving ban to save fuel, and that is the origins of me and my sisters learning Rasa from my father. So the thing is, I do believe, as the discussion ensues, that these teachings, it's very beneficial for them to come at an early age, because it become easier to grow with. But then it's never too late either.
I remember about 6-7 years ago, we did a program at one of the Gurdwaras on the powers of Japji Sahib, Ardas and Jap Sahib. And we asked the audience at that time, what is your concept of God? I mean, Virji has very nicely described something just now. But honestly, when you do Ardas or you pray, who do you have in mind? Some said Guru Granth Sahib Ji, some said Guru Nanak Dev Ji, some Guru Gobind Singh Ji. And honestly, we were amazed that your daughter, Sahiba, at that time was only about 10 or 11 years of age. And she said, God is energy. And I thought, where did she get that from? Then suddenly it dawned upon me that your mother is a physicist, and Gurbani, along with quality education, Virji, good quality education, brought those values to light, that every living thing, God is within every living thing. I mean, do you want to add something to that based on this discussion? How a child's concept is that God, Vaiguruji's energy that drives everything.
I think there was one saying, I don't remember who said that. Okay, don't worry if your child is not listening to you, but your child is watching you.
Yes,
watching you.
Yes.
And that watching is it's a quality education.
Yeah,
that is a quality value-based education. So if you can be a role model, and your children are the first people to get those values. There is no doubt about this. So Sikhi is all about being role models. We in nowadays WhatsApp revolution, we get all these clips being forwarded with all the Sikhs showing in World War I and World War II with proper Amritari Sikhs, and they're carrying Guru Granth Sahib Ji from one place to another. But then where is that value now? Why are those values eroding, disappearing?
I mean, it is incredible. We were talking about the British. They had 3 naval ships named after the Sikhs. British ships or armors are never named after any other race. So they must have some respect for these, call it a martial race. We dispute that. But it's because they understood what the Sikhs are, who they are. And to sort of re-engineer their way of thinking was Western education.
I think it's very important to understand the difference between being martial or martial race. I know it's a bit controversial issue at the moment, but we are as Guru Gobind Singh Ji taught us, we are the defenders of faith. And humanity. To defend, Guru Gobind Singh Ji never attacked first anybody, but they always defended with all their might. So defending and attacking both need martial characteristics. So to say that Sikhs are a martial race because we lived our generations on horsebacks and fighting in terms of defending our values.
Survival.
And a race, because sometimes we don't promote that we are a race, because Guru Gobind Singh Ji said, Manas ki jaat sabbe ek hi pehchan wo. And we are And what we are, anybody, a Hindu can turn into a Khalsa, a Muslim can turn into a Khalsa. Guru Gobind Singh Ji had so many Muslims in his army, Pir Buddha Shah and all his Pathans. So this is where I think is an unnecessary controversy which is going on at the moment. But we need to maybe, I think, understand yet. Yes, we have martial characters, and we are maybe a perfect human race.
Well, we're aiming
Aiming to be
be.
Yes,
I mean, Guruji has set the foundations, and what
the foundation is there.
The foundation is there, and you know where we need to reach.
If we follow those values.
Yes, if we follow them. Yes.
I think it's important to learn those values. If those values are not brought to your attention through value-based education. Now, Penji, I mean, which year upbringing in Dar es Salaam, and now you being a leading practicing LLB lawyer in North London, where do you see Sikh values converging with good governance, good transparency, good practice, being ethical?
Well, I think my religion does help me with my practice, because I feel that, I mean, obviously I have a practice. I have, we're a team of 7 solicitors and support staff. We have to make money to pay everybody and to meet our own financial needs. But I do feel as an individual that, I don't prioritize money, or, as a general rule. When I feel that somebody is in need of help, I do actually assist. Now, we had legal aid in this country, which was freely available when I first started practicing, subject to people's financial resources, which has now practically disappeared. And my firm itself doesn't do legal aid work. But anyone, who actually knows me and knows some of the people I work with, we if someone is in need, and I think that's where the value is, and we just feel that if we do a good deed, it will come back to us in some way to assist us and to assist those around us. We don't feel that it has to be always a straight cash.
But Sikhi doesn't stop you from making plenty of money. All Sikhi says is, take out your daswand, help the needy, the downtrodden, not so privileged, not so educated.
Yes.
Is that happening, you think, among society today? I mean, this appeal, educate to save. We did a program, a fundraising event last year called Walk to Save.
Yes,
it was all to do with targeting our energies towards those underprivileged children. Where, I mean, we are talking about the land of Punjab where martyrs' blood has flowed. Today, alcohol is flowing there.
Yes.
So how do we appeal to the Sadh Sangat that please, if you are doing it, how do you appeal to your fellow professionals?
Well, this is what it is. I mean, this is such a large NGO, non-governmental organization, and we're trying to create awareness, and I mean this program is about awareness. We have done some roadshows, but we need to do a lot more, because I do personally feel that once the message is clear, we will gain more support from others around us. I do feel that people in this country, they've come, I mean, I wouldn't say just in this country particularly, but people have got into the rat race. They have their own focuses, their own targets in life. But as we, approach them and as we appeal to them, they will think beyond their own family and their own circle. And I mean, you gave a beautiful introduction that we are raising money for education that, in a land that was at the height of education, thousands of years ago. What has gone wrong? Things do go wrong. Things go wrong in every society, some more than others. Punjab has had its shares. It has had political woes. It has had economic woes. We've had the drug and the alcoholism. But the thing is, that we need to just get back these people on track. This is a land, I mean, I personally feel this is a land, I mean, I'm born in Tanzania. From there, I emigrated with my family to this country. I'm educated here, I work here, I got married here. But that is the land of my forefathers. That's the land of the birth of my religion. That is the land of history. I do feel that the people of that land, if I can do something for them, I should be doing it.
I think you're so right. You say, we go back again to Vaisakhi Day, 1699.
Yes.
What made the Guru select these special or craft these special qualities from the masses of 80,000? What qualities were needed for the betterment of society? And Virji, Sant Baba Atar Singh Ji, Sant Baba Teja Singh Ji, Sant Baba Iqbal Singh Ji had a great vision of people with this sort of value base. As they say, literacy is what we all getting.
Yeah.
It's that value-based education. Added to that is that spiritual part. If you look at the history of Cambridge University, you look at the history of Oxford universities, they were all monasteries. I think had things to some extent carried on with that value-based education, which in our 129 schools, that value-based education is part and parcel of that curriculum. I can't see our students would have done what our practitioners in the city of London did during the financial crisis, or Hitler's atrocities. Now, tell again something about what these poor, downtrodden children of northern India are getting in terms of the wider society. They are children from very well-off families, but these are children whose parents cannot even afford their uniform or to send them to school. Can you please add something to that initiative?
Yeah, starting with the values like patience, tolerance, forgiveness.
Yes.
I mean, these are the values which are really, really important. As I said before, we don't need to reinvent the wheel. And Sant Maharaj Ji, Sant Teja Singh Ji, Baba Ji, all they're doing is spreading the message of our Gurus. It was a very strong message, a very strong set of values. So, Baba Iqbal Singh Ji, who is the president of Kalgita Trust, currently 96 years old, he started this mission with only 5 children. Only 5 children. And it was in such a remote area. And I think initially in the first batch, they had students, they were like, I can call them the most notorious students, where the families said, oh, you send them anywhere, we don't want them.
Yes.
And Babaji started with those because it was right in the middle of a jungle with nothing there. So teaching himself, starting with 5 students. And then when those notorious students became highly academic and they had gained a set of values, all of a sudden this organization, that school became very popular.
Yeah.
Virji, I've just been intercepted by the producer. We got a video here which actually is about to show how a child from a very poor background is receiving quality education at a Kal Academy. Please, Ye.
ਕਲਗੀਧਰ ਟਰਸਟ ਬੜੂ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਔਰ ਅਕਾਲ ਅਕੈਡਮੀ ਬਹੁਤ ਬਹੁਤ ਧੰਨਵਾਦ ਹੈ।
ਰਣਦੀਪ ਦੇ ਪਿਤਾ ਜੀ ਨੂੰ ਮਿਲ ਕੇ ਇਹ ਪਤਾ ਲੱਗਿਆ ਕਿ ਉਹ ਬਹੁਤ ਖੁਸ਼ ਨੇ ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦਾ ਬੱਚਾ ਅਕਾਲ ਅਕੈਡਮੀ ਦੇ ਰਣਦੀਪ ਸਿੰਘ ਇੱਕ ਗਰੀਬ ਪਰਿਵਾਰ ਦਾ ਬੱਚਾ ਜਿਸ ਦੇ ਪਿਤਾ ਮਜ਼ਦੂਰ ਨੇ, ਇੱਕ ਦਿਹਾੜੀ ਮਜ਼ਦੂਰ ਜੋ ਕਿ ਆਪਣੇ ਪਰਿਵਾਰ ਵਾਲਿਆਂ ਦਾ ਪੇਟ ਪਾਲਣ ਦੇ ਲਈ ਹਰ ਰੋਜ਼ ਮਿਹਨਤ ਕਰਦੇ ਨੇ, ਪਰ ਤਾਂ ਵੀ ਇੰਨਾ ਕੁ ਕਮਾ ਪਾਉਂਦੇ ਨੇ ਕਿ ਕਦੀ-ਕਦੀ ਆਪਣੇ ਪਰਿਵਾਰ ਵਾਲਿਆਂ ਦਾ ਪੇਟ ਸ਼ਾਇਦ ਨਾ ਪਾਲ ਸਕਣ। ਆਓ ਅਸੀਂ ਰਣਦੀਪ ਸਿੰਘ ਅਤੇ ਉਸ ਦੇ ਪਰਿਵਾਰ ਨਾਲ ਮਿਲਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਔਰ ਜਾਣਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਕਿ ਉਹ ਕਿਸ ਤਰੀਕੇ ਦੇ ਚੈਲੰਜਸ ਫੇਸ ਕਰਦੇ ਨੇ ਔਰ ਅਕਾਲ ਅਕੈਡਮੀ ਵਿੱਚ ਪੜ੍ਹਨ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦਾ ਬੱਚਾ ਅੱਜ ਕਿੱਥੇ ਤੱਕ ਪਹੁੰਚ ਗਿਆ।
Good morning to all. My name is Randeep Singh. I am 5 years old. I want to be a policeman.
ਬਹੁਤ ਵਧੀਆ ਮਹਿਸੂਸ ਹੋ ਰਿਹਾ ਜੀ। ਗੁਰਸਿੱਖ ਹੋਣ ਦੇ ਨਾਂ 'ਤੇ ਜੋ ਮੇਰੇ ਬੱਚੇ ਨੂੰ ਛੋਟ ਮਿਲੀ ਆ ਜੀ, ਮੈਂ ਤੁਹਾਡਾ ਧੰਨਵਾਦ ਕਰਦਾ। ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਸਾਡਾ ਸਾਰਾ ਪਰਿਵਾਰ ਜੀ ਡੇਰਾ ਸੱਚਾ ਸੌਦਾ ਨਾਲ ਜੁੜਿਆ ਸੀਗਾ ਜੀ। 1998-99 ਤੋਂ ਬਾਅਦ ਜੀ ਮੈਂ ਰਾਜਨੀਤੀ 'ਚ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਹਿੱਸਾ ਲੈਣ ਕਰਕੇ ਮੈਂ ਇਹ ਰਸਤਾ ਛੱਡ ਦਿੱਤਾ ਸੀਗਾ ਜੀ। ਤੇ ਸੰਨ 2000 'ਚ ਮੇਰਾ ਅੰਮ੍ਰਿਤ ਛਕਿਆ ਜੀ। ਨਾ ਬਹੁਤ ਵਧੀਆ ਮਹਿਸੂਸ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਜੀ, ਜਿਵੇਂ ਕਿ ਪੰਜ ਬਾਣੀਆਂ ਦੇ ਪਾਠ ਸੁਣਾਉਂਦਾ ਜੀ। ਸਿੱਖੀ ਨੂੰ ਬੜਾਵਾ ਦੇਣ ਵਾਸਤੇ ਕਲਗੀਧਰ ਟਰੱਸਟ ਬੜੂ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਔਰ ਅਕਾਲ ਅਕੈਡਮੀ ਬਹੁਤ ਬਹੁਤ ਧੰਨਵਾਦ ਹੈ ਜੀ।
ਰਣਦੀਪ ਦੇ ਪਿਤਾ ਜੀ ਨੂੰ ਮਿਲ ਕੇ ਇਹ ਪਤਾ ਲੱਗਿਆ ਕਿ ਉਹ ਬਹੁਤ ਖੁਸ਼ ਨੇ, ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦਾ ਬੱਚਾ ਅਕਾਲ ਅਕੈਡਮੀ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਪੜ੍ਹ ਕੇ ਬਾਣੀ ਔਰ ਬਾਣੇ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਜੁੜ ਰਿਹਾ ਤੇ ਨਾਲੇ ਅੱਛੀ ਐਜੂਕੇਸ਼ਨ ਵੀ ਲੈ ਰਿਹਾ ਹੈ, ਇੰਗਲਿਸ਼ ਸਿੱਖ ਰਿਹਾ ਔਰ ਆਪਣੇ ਪਰਿਵਾਰ ਵਾਲਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਸਿਖਾ ਵੀ ਰਿਹਾ। ਆਓ ਅਸੀਂ ਇਸ ਗੁਰਮੁਖ ਪਰਿਵਾਰ ਦੀ ਖੁਸ਼ੀਆਂ ਦਾ ਕਾਰਨ ਬਣੀਏ। ਜੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਚਾਹੁੰਦੇ ਹੋ ਕਿ ਰਣਦੀਪ ਆਪਣੇ ਪਰਿਵਾਰ ਦੀ ਗਰੀਬੀ ਮਿਟਾ ਸਕੇ ਤੇ ਉਸ ਦੀ ਐਜੂਕੇਸ਼ਨ ਨੂੰ ਸਪਾਂਸਰ ਕਰੋ। ਸਪਾਂਸਰਸ਼ਿਪ ਲਈ ਸਕਰੀਨ ਤੇ ਆ ਰਹੇ ਨੰਬਰਸ ਜਾਂ ਵੈਬਸਾਈਟ ਦੇ ਥਰੂ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਕੰਟੈਕਟ ਕਰ ਸਕਦੇ ਹੋ। Always remember, your one good deed can change somebody's life.
Welcome back, Sangat ji. But what you just saw in the video gives us a very clear picture. We are all NRIs. We go back to families in Punjab, in northern India. The conditions of our families are much more affluent. But the appeal at Educate to Save is exactly children in this category. They are weak, they are poor, they are downtrodden. And value-based education at par. It's almost, imagine if you're rich enough in this country, your child is going to Tiffin Boys or to St. Paul's or Lady Eleanor or somewhere in Edgware. A poor child is given the same rights, the same privilege, which here £25 a month. So Sadh Sangat ji, get your family to watch this program. Get your children to sponsor at least the future of one child. Virji, perhaps you want to continue from where you were talking about these children and where they are getting to.
So Babaji's school became, it was a first boarding residential school, full boarding school in Himachal Pradesh, Badu Sahib. So it became really popular, and more wealthy people started sending their children there. Obviously, Babaji's mission was to spread the message of Sikhi and the values of Guru Granth Sahib Ji and the concept of Khalsa Panth. So, in that process, Babaji had many students coming who could not afford any fees, because obviously residential schools are a bit expensive to provide full boarding, lodging, everything. So even now, Badu Sahib, one student costs nearly 150,000 to 2 lakh rupees. But other schools, then they started all these other 129 schools which are in states of Punjab, Haryana, UP and Rajasthan, where we find Sikh pockets. So the mission was basically to educate Sikhs initially and tell them about the values which Gurus taught us. And the mission of every student there, if the student belongs to a Sikh family, the mission is to get baptized at the earliest possible age. Because I think where we're going wrong now is that is not the part of our mission in life, or that is not our target, and that's not what is taught. So it's a very successful chain of 129 schools with 100% hit rate, that if the student is from a Sikh family, so eventually that student would be a proper Rath-Tari Sikh with the Rath Maryada, and eventually a baptized Sikh. So we're talking about 70,000 ultimately baptized students.
But we're looking at about 500 schools ultimately.
Yes, to spread that message, I think to save the Punjab from the current situation, which is alarming and is very, very serious. and to saturate Punjab with value-based education, we need minimum 500 schools. So they had to stop at 129 schools because this Guru Ki Kashi project was equally important, that once students come out of their schools, they need higher education, they need the same atmosphere in the universities. So Guru Ki Kashi was a 500 crore rupees project, which is halfway through. Phase 1 and 2 are complete. The next phase is the completion of Guru Granth Sahib Bhavan, and then that's where all the Gurmat courses, they already started. Then the translation of Guru Granth Sahib into other languages and sending these Gurmat graduates throughout the world to spread the message of Guru Granth Sahib. It's a noble mission started by Sant Singh Ji Maharaj, and we all know about that. And I think appeal today is the whole purpose of the program, as we do every week, is to motivate all NRIs that if you feel that the children you are seeing in these pictures, they are the sons of Guru Gobind Singh Ji, and if you feel that you are also the son of Guru Gobind Singh Ji, then Khalsa brotherhood, because Khalsa belongs to God and all our achievements belong to God. We are nothing. We live for the society. So that's where there is a need to make that well-deserved sacrifice for these children. For 25 pounds a month, you can educate the whole generation for that child. So it's really, really important that the resources in India, they're not that good. As you know, the government is not helping. There's no grants or any help for these poor children. If they miss the school, what their life is going to be like is just totally unimaginable.
Virji, is very interesting that you see this initiative taken to educate Punjab, to bring the level of education to even be above the national average. I think Babaji's mission is wonderful, even going down further downstream into universities and all that. But if you look at Punjab, Sadh Sangat Ji, the problem is much, much bigger. We have this drugs problem. We have alcohol problem. Part of this is because of lack of jobs. First, of course, it is lack of proper education, quality education. But next stage is to get a job. Punjab has been described as the granary of India. But if you look at Punjab itself, you don't find any upstream industries. By upstream, I mean industries that feed agriculture. Maybe pesticides, maybe fertilizers. They should be produced within Punjab itself, feeding Punjab's the agro belt. Then we are looking at midstream. Then we are looking at further downstream, which is very important, is food processing. These food processing industries will use the agro produce, process them and export them. I think Sadh Sangat Ji, your help with educating these children, and some of you are big enough and large enough. I know the operating conditions in Punjab are not that brilliant in terms of economic investment. But Sadh Sangat Ji, starting with these children, educating them, they will demand these conditions from the government. Benji, in your case, you're a lawyer. Do you regularly travel to Punjab, or do you make any contact with lawyers in that part of India?
I mean, I don't go that frequently, but I do go every couple of years. I visit because I've got family, friends there, and I enjoy my visits. I haven't got any legal contacts as such, but I just wanted to add, about, educating to create these new industries and these new jobs. I mean, how important it is. In every state, there should be diversity of an economy, so that income sources are not reliant on just one,
sector of industry.
One sector, or whether it be farming, everything else. And that is sadly the situation today is in Punjab, that is not there. Now, one can say, "Oh, just go and invest or go and give money." I mean, things are not going to work on that base. The politics of Punjab is well known. We don't need to get into the discussion of rights or wrongs. But the thing is, when there's education in a population, they will stand up.
Yeah.
Hopefully, they will vote the right people in. Who will do what they're asking them to do. I mean, we have basically the education is now the infrastructure which Punjab needs. And this is all we can do from abroad, is to ensure that education is available, because that's what this appeal is about. We're saying sponsor a child. These children are already in these schools. Yeah. They're already in the Akal Academy schools. Babaji, through his administration and management, has already got the children there. We want you to sponsor them so that they become the future.
You see, I was talking about industry, that's fine. But if you look at the southern states like Kerala, look at their literacy rate.
Yes.
And look at the way they have gone globally with an educated workforce.
Yes.
Today, they are actually bringing things back, that sort of investment that is needed. So Babaji's initiative is a wonderful initiative. If there is export of human resources, it should be well educated. So it's like some of our videos will show over the next few weeks that we have people in NASA, we have people in Google, we have people in investment banks. So that initiative is a little, late, but it's never late, as they say.
Yeah, it's never
and I'm
late,
sure it will help to get the quality to very high standards.
Absolutely.
Virji, is there anything you want to add on industry and how the Sadh Sangat here can become part and parcel of this?
Sikh community in itself is a very dynamic community. There's no doubt about this. Even Punjab, at the time of partition, like Sikhs were nearly over 40% in the army. They were a big force. They could have achieved anything. Then after that, I think we, to some extent, our own corrupt leadership and mostly the stepmotherly treatment from center ruined everything. The people in Punjab worked so hard to bring about the Green Revolution in 1970s. So then, like in England, after Green Revolution, you automatically expect industrial revolution. And why did that not happen? So that is where this stepmotherly treatment of center comes in. And they started attacking Sikhs from every angle, from education, even their percentage in army went down. So many things. And one example I want to quote is that instead of forget about industrial revolution, instead of supporting farmers with the right price for their subsidies, right price for their product, we got to a point where farmers are committing suicide for 100,000 rupees, 200,000 rupees loan, just believe this. And on the other hand, industrialists are getting away with thousands of crores of rupees being waived through their bankruptcies and everything.
We will pick from that, Virji. I think that's a very important point. I've just been told by the producer that we got another clip coming, which actually shows how education actually is progressive with the child and his development.
ਇਹ ਕਹਾਣੀ ਹੈ ਕਰਨਦੀਪ ਸਿੰਘ ਦੀ, ਜੋ ਕਿ ਇੱਕ ਛੋਟੇ ਜਿਹੇ ਕਿਸਾਨ ਦਾ ਬੇਟਾ ਹੈ। ਇਹੋ ਜਿਹੇ ਪਿੰਡ 'ਚ ਰਹਿਣ ਵਾਲਾ ਬੱਚਾ ਜਿੱਥੇ ਹਰ ਰੋਜ਼ ਕਿਸੇ ਨਾ ਕਿਸੇ ਕਿਸਾਨ ਦੀ ਖੁਦਕੁਸ਼ੀ ਦੀ ਖਬਰ ਤਾਂ ਆਮ ਗੱਲ ਸੀ। ਛੋਟੇ ਹੁੰਦਿਆਂ ਤੋਂ ਉੱਚੀ ਸੋਚ ਰੱਖਣ ਵਾਲੇ ਬੱਚੇ ਨੇ ਫੈਸਲਾ ਕੀਤਾ ਕਿ ਉਹ ਪੜ੍ਹ ਲਿਖ ਕੇ ਇਹੋ ਜਿਹੇ ਅਹੁਦੇ ਤੇ ਪਹੁੰਚਣਾ ਚਾਹੁੰਦਾ ਹੈ ਤਾਂ ਜੋ ਉਹ ਦੇਸ਼ ਦੀ ਸੇਵਾ ਕਰ ਸਕੇ। ਅਕਾਲ ਅਕੈਡਮੀ, ਜਿੱਥੇ ਅਧਿਆਤਮਿਕ ਵਾਤਾਵਰਣ ਵਿੱਚ ਬੱਚਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਪੜ੍ਹਾਇਆ ਲਿਖਾਇਆ ਜਾਂਦਾ ਹੈ, ਜ਼ਿੰਦਗੀ ਦੇ ਇਮਤਿਹਾਨ 'ਚ ਜਿੱਤ ਹਾਸਲ ਕਰਨ ਲਈ ਤਿਆਰ ਕੀਤਾ ਜਾਂਦਾ ਹੈ। ਕੜੀ ਮਿਹਨਤ ਕਰਨ ਤੋਂ ਬਾਅਦ ਉਸਨੇ 17 ਸਾਲਾਂ ਦੀ ਉਮਰ 'ਚ ਇੰਡੀਅਨ ਆਰਮੀ 'ਚ ਦਾਖਲਾ ਲਿੱਤਾ। ਇਹੋ ਜਿਹੇ ਐਗਜ਼ਾਮ 'ਚ ਜਿਸ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਪੂਰੇ ਦੇਸ਼ ਦੇ ਬੱਚੇ ਭਾਗ ਲੈਂਦੇ ਨੇ, ਕਰਨਦੀਪ ਨੇ ਚੰਗੇ ਅੰਕ ਲਿਆ ਕੇ ਰੈਂਕ 30 ਹਾਸਲ ਕੀਤਾ। ਆਰਮੀ 'ਚ ਭਰਤੀ ਹੋਣ ਤੋਂ ਬਾਅਦ ਉਸਨੂੰ 3 ਸਾਲ ਪੂਨੇ ਅਤੇ 1 ਸਾਲ ਦੇਹਰਾਦੂਨ ਵਿੱਚ ਟ੍ਰੇਨਿੰਗ ਦਿੱਤੀ ਗਈ। ਸਿੱਖੀ ਦੇ ਇਮਤਿਹਾਨ 'ਚ ਖਰੇ ਉਤਰਨ ਦੀ ਸੇਧ ਜੋ ਉਸਨੂੰ ਅਕਾਲ ਅਕੈਡਮੀ ਤੋਂ ਮਿਲੀ ਸੀ, ਉਸ ਦੇ ਉੱਤੇ ਅੱਜ ਵੀ ਬਰਕਰਾਰ ਹੈ ਅਤੇ ਸਿੱਖੀ ਦੀ ਸ਼ਾਨ ਵਧਾਉਣ 'ਚ ਜੁੜਿਆ ਰਹਿੰਦਾ ਹੈ।
ਨੈਸ਼ਨਲ ਡਿਫੈਂਸ ਅਕੈਡਮੀ 'ਚ ਭਰਤੀ ਹੋਣ ਦਾ ਸੁਪਨਾ ਤੇ ਮੈਂ ਬਚਪਨ 'ਚ ਹੀ ਦੇਖ ਲਿਆ ਸੀ, ਪਰ ਉਸ ਨੂੰ ਪੂਰਾ ਕਰਨ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਅਕਾਲ ਅਕੈਡਮੀ ਅਤੇ ਉੱਥੇ ਪੜ੍ਹਾਉਣ ਵਾਲੇ ਅਧਿਆਪਕਾਂ ਦਾ ਬਹੁਤ ਵੱਡਾ ਯੋਗਦਾਨ ਰਿਹਾ ਹੈ। ਮੇਰੇ ਮਾਤਾ-ਪਿਤਾ ਤੇ ਗੁਰੂ ਮਹਾਰਾਜ ਦਾ ਸ਼ੁਕਰਾਨਾ ਕਰਦੇ ਨਹੀਂ ਥੱਕਦੇ ਕਿ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਉਸ ਵੇਲੇ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਪੜ੍ਹਾਉਣ ਦਾ ਫੈਸਲਾ ਅਕਾਲ ਅਕੈਡਮੀ ਵਿੱਚ ਕੀਤਾ। ਅਕਾਲ ਅਕੈਡਮੀ ਇੱਕ ਉਹ ਨਾਮ ਹੈ ਜਿੱਥੇ ਪੜ੍ਹਨ ਤੋਂ ਬਾਅਦ ਜ਼ਿੰਦਗੀ ਸਿਰਫ ਚੜ੍ਹਦੀ ਕਲਾ ਵੱਲ ਹੀ ਮੁੱਖ ਰੱਖਦੀ ਹੈ।
Sadhu Sangat ji, welcome back. There are many success stories like these of your efforts when you become part and parcel of this great effort initiated by Babaji. Birji, you brought in a very important point about farmers and the suicide rate there. And you know we already educate nearly 500 children of farmers who have committed suicide. But please carry on that very important point you were making.
Yeah, I think getting Punjab through industrial revolution would have been an ideal situation, but unfortunately we could not even educate the farmers on use of pesticides, insecticides, pesticides. They made such an excessive and uneducated approach to use of those that they had so many skin diseases and cancer. I mean, these are the basic things which I think we still need, and as I said, there's a numerous list of all.
And water at 1200 feet.
Yeah, it's gone from nearly 100 to from more than 500 feet, using all their resources and not compensating the state for that. I mean, we can list the problems, but there is only one solution. There is only one solution to all these problems, and that is education. If the education is right, if we can help this organization to spread their network of 500 schools in Punjab, then we can definitely put the Punjab back on the road to success. At the moment, the conditions are totally disastrous, and it's not only academic education, it's the education model here where we are basically teaching the Sikh children about Sikh values. Sikh values are they cannot be compromised, and I don't think anybody will complain about those are our gurus lived for upliftment of society, and that's what Sikh values teach us, that become global citizens. And it's not only that if they don't get employment in Punjab, we should not be worried about that. So long as we educate them, wherever they go, they will compete in any country. They will compete globally, and they will be the successful global citizens. So whether the revolution of Sikhi, I call this organization, there's a silent revolution going on, and we should become of this part of this silent revolution by supporting them, by at least educating one child. Every NRI family should educate one child. All the details are there on the website. Which village do they belong to, which academy they are going to. So Babaji took a given us a head start on this project. He's saying instead of waiting for the sponsorship and then putting children into the school, he has done a very positive thing, like taken nearly 3,000 students from very underprivileged families, put them into the schools, and now we are begging here to Sadhu Sangat that if you sponsor one of those 3,000 children, which you can see on the website, then Babaji will take another batch of 3,000 children. So there is an unlimited demand for education. There is an unlimited need for educating these children, and the number of such children in the age group of 3 to 5 who need this education is nearly 250,000. So how would any organization achieve that target without getting a full-fledged support from the community? And that support we can only expect from mainly NRI families.
I think, Virji, you have made a very important point, and Penji, the question is to you. I think Virji made a point that educate them well. doesn't matter wherever they work in the world, they will carry Sikh values and they will fit into any society that you put them in. I think this is, we have almost 7-8 million Brits working overseas, 7 million, but they're ill prepared. But wow, with this sort of education, Sikh value-based education, you can put them on the moon or Mars. They will look after Mars. What have you got to add to this?
No, but I mean, I think it's self-evident of the Sikh communities abroad, because, I mean, you look at Canada and our representation in politics, our representation in business, our representation in almost every aspect of the society. You look at this country, we are very well represented in every profession. You look at the United States. The thing is, what comes across is that we've been given opportunities to better ourselves, to study, and where we've also had the benefit of our own Sikhi values, we've progressed, and it's been recognized by many. We have Sikhs who Sajdari Sikhs, we say, who don't wear turbans. They're in positions, but we have equal numbers of Sikhs who are following the full Maryada, who may not have taken Amrit. Amrit is still may not be accepted as yet by them, but the thing is, we've got representation. So the thing is, what comes across to me is, if Sikhs are given the opportunities, they will do well, they will make something of it, and they will only give back to society. They will do well themselves and give back to society. And that's what I would, as an individual, would want to do, to give the children in Punjab the opportunity, which we can through this NGO.
Thank you, Penji, for your input. Sadh Sangat ji, we are coming to the end of today's episode. This debate will carry on till next week. There are other factors than education, where governments are doing things to help empower downtrodden societies. And we will, at the start of next week, do reflect on some governments, how they have empowered their population. Over 30 years, it has transformed everything. Thank you very much, Sadh Sangat ji, for watching today's program, and thank you, Veer ji and Penji, for joining me today. Sadh Sangat ji, Shuti Deo, Vaheguru ji ka Khalsa, Vaheguru ji ki Fateh.